Have you ever wanted better audio quality in your porn? Have you ever thought about having a bit more energy in your porn creations? Well, now you can with Dan Noise. Dan Noise is the premium service brought to you by Dan because he hasn't got a job and he needs something to pay for, and this is the only option at the moment, where Dan will overdub your porn for only the females only, such as, yeah, or, but my pussy, ah!
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 18 of the Unusual Suspects podcast. My name is Dan. The world's on fire right now, but it's okay, we're here to help you and cheer you up. And this episode will definitely cheer you up. I've read the synopsis. It's going to be a good one. Joining me to my left on the Zoom call is Penny. Hello, Penny.
Hi!
And to my right is Andy.
He hates when I do that.
I really fucking hate that. Instantly, I just got annoyed.
That's her catchphrase. You have your own catchphrase. Let her have her own
It's not
catchphrase.
a fucking catchphrase. It's bullshit.
Sorry,
Anyway.
I'll do it again. Hello.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's Andy's.
Well, I know,
Hello.
but...
Hi! Is that better?
Yes.
For the listeners at home, that was Andy doing that. In case you didn't notice the difference, because it was that good.
Pretty good, wasn't it?
It is a
Pretty
pretty good, like, spot-on impression.
Wait till I start whinging about horror films and not having a Shudder account later.
I'm excited.
It's coming.
Maybe we should do an episode where we all switch and see if anyone can tell.
Like Freaky Friday.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's a brilliant idea. Why haven't we thought of that before? I mean, I could easily be Andy. That's the thing. So.
Oh, I don't know if I could be the glue,
No.
because Andy would be me and then I'd have to be the glue, and I don't know if that'd work.
I mean, Andy is definitely Penny. I could be Andy, and then Andy could be me.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hang on, so I'm Penny and you. So is what?
No, sorry.
Pen's just in the background?
I'd have to be you. It's probably the best place for me.
Or the bin.
Shut up, bin lid.
Right. Penny, you have been, for the majority of today, absolutely craving to tell us about a film you have watched, and I'm just going to grab the popcorn.
I think I would like you to read the synopsis as you've just read it. Do you want to read that out for everybody?
Where is the synopsis, Penny?
I thought you said you just read it.
The synopsis as in the text messages I received and voicemails I received today.
No. So, hi, I'm Penny. Apparently I hate myself. And today I watched 2017's Adult Babies.
Adult Babies?
Is this an intervention?
I feel like I'm in AA. Like, I don't know what I'd done to feel like I deserved to put myself through this, but I did it for you guys.
Thank you.
Weirdly, when the movie started and I got to the credits actually say Attack of the Adult Babies, but nowhere on the internet could I find that was the title. Everywhere calls it Adult Babies, so that confused me to start with. And it was directed by Paddy Kirk, if I could read my own handwriting, from Emmerdale. So literally a man from Emmerdale.
What?
A man who plays Paddy from Emmerdale. I don't watch it, so I don't know. He directed it, and I'm pretty sure his wife wrote it, so I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these people.
You didn't tell us that.
Oh, I am suddenly invested.
No.
Okay. So, Adult Babies, it sounds like a kid's film, doesn't it?
Does it?
I am the audience member. I'm just asking the question. I already know what it's about, but it sounds like a kid's film, right?
I've just found the synopsis and it's not really correct, but I'll read it. When two teenagers break into an isolated mansion, they discover a group of wealthy men who dress as babies and have their perverse whims catered to.
Sounds like an ultimate Adam Sandler comedy, doesn't it?
It's not really what the film was about.
Sounds like a good weekend.
I'm going to put this out there now. Not kink shaming Adult Babies. You do you, but I'm definitely kink shaming this film.
Called Adult Babies.
So we come into a miserable family playing some sort of shitty board game. This took me a long time to work out, so I'm going to do it at the beginning. George is the dad,
Right.
Yep.
and his daughter is Kim. George is married to Sandra, and Tim is her kid, so they are step-parents and stepchildren.
Right. Okay.
This was not made clear at the beginning of the film,
Okay.
so I thought they were all one family, which was really awkward because Kim and Tim is going to make this really annoying as well. Kim accuses her, who I thought at the time was her brother, of stealing her knickers and wanking over a drawing that he made of her.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to episode whatever the fuck it was.
Yep. So they have a bit of an argument about that. He says he didn't do it. Then we get a scene of some sexy nurses. When you think sexy nurse outfit, that is what they are wearing. Like a tiny little Halloween kind of vinyl-y.
From Lidl.
Lidl?
Like a budget, like sexy.
Oh, I was like, do Lidl specifically
I don't know.
sell?
Maybe they do.
White vinyl,
Yeah.
very short, little hat.
Little hat.
Seems impractical, doesn't it? I mean, I guess the vinyl is like wiped down, but also seems very impractical.
They were very short. I don't know how they sit down and...
Can you imagine like walking around wards in those like pointy red stilettos all day? You'd have blisters for days.
They're not real babies, though.
You do know that's not real.
They're adult babies.
That doesn't happen.
So... But there is a head nurse whose name is Margaret. Her outfit is black.
Ooh, she must be the head of the nurses.
And then there's a weird deputy nurse called Clinton. And she's bonkers, and she also wears black. All of these things took me most of the film to work out, so I'm hoping if we can get it sorted in our minds at the beginning, it will make this journey a lot
Is
easier.
Clinton trans or?
No, Clinton's a lady, but she's fucking batshit. I'm pretty sure one of the adult babies later is like, where's the balmy one?
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Clinton. Okay.
They put in a line from Dawn of the Dead. The head nurse, Margaret, comes in and she's like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. It's time to go to work.
Fuck's sake.
Barbara being one of the... She's like the main... She's new. It's her first day on the job, but she turns out to be like the main nurse that we follow. Then we go back to the family's house and two guys with guns break in doing horrendous Russian accents.
Okay.
They're called Vlad and Dmitri, but they
Of
decide...
course they are, yes.
They decide to call themselves Bert and Barry, so they don't give away their names.
Great names.
Emmerdale, the guy from Emmerdale definitely has done this.
Yep.
Great names.
One of them is played by Shane Maguire from Shameless. I don't know what his real name is, but I loved him. But I could tell it was him because his accent was really bad. And I was like, I know that voice. He's not Russian.
He's Mancunian.
Yeah. So they come in and point guns at the family and have a go at them. He calls the mum cow bitch quite a lot in Russian, which was quite good.
Cow bitch?
Yeah. He's like, shut up. I can't do a Russian accent. Shut up, cow bitch.
That's a new insult, isn't it? Usually it's...
Yeah, keep your mouth shut. Bitch woman.
Bitch woman.
Beach woman, cow beach. Is that Russian or is that just offensive? I don't know.
Bit of both.
Yeah, sorry,
I
Russians.
apologise.
And then there's a lot of cutting to and from. So they've home invaded the family, and we don't really know why yet. And then we switch back to the nurses, and Margaret is telling all the new nurses the rules. So it's a bit Fight Clubby. It's like, no one should know that you're here. You shouldn't have told anyone. This is all very secret. There's no laughing at the adult babies. No taking the piss out of them. It's very professional. It's very serious. It's all very hush-hush. These men are very, very important people, and you will all be known as Nursey from now.
Nursey.
Yep, they're all called Nursey.
Right. So it's like a carry-on film.
I wish it was like a carry-on film. Vlad and Dmitri, we go back to them, and they want the mum, the brother, and the sister. They tell them they need to break into this mansion and find a box and steal it. Otherwise, they're going to kill George, the dad. So George has to stay behind, and then they give the family directions to this mansion, and they've got 3 hours to pick up this box and bring it back.
Okay.
Right.
My next note just says...
Adult babies, right?
It says the guests will soil themselves. That's one of the things that she's explaining to the nurses. And then my next note just says, fucking hell.
What? Do you see it or what?
No, not yet. I'm just yeah. Okay. They send the family off to get this box. We have no idea why. We've seen some of the adult babies. We've had glimpses of them. It's not nice.
You're not allowed to laugh or take the piss out of them. You can't say that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do
I
that.
am. I'm not a fucking nurse.
I'm not an adult baby, but you're not allowed to take the piss out of them.
No king shaming.
Oh, king shaming, yeah.
It's your rule.
I'm not king shaming, but
Your rule, yeah.
I'm not king shaming, but I did not need to see a lot of fat men in nappies today. I don't know why, because I picked the film Adult Baby, so I knew exactly what I was going to see.
Stop looking through my window then.
So the family goes off and the dad sits down with Vlad and Dmitri, and it turns out that the dad's in on it, that George is in on it, and he's really cross because he just wanted them to send Tim to go and get the box. And there's this whole conversation. They're like, no, you said them. And he's like, no, I said send Tim, not them. And they have this whole conversation. He's like, no, look, I'll show you the text message. And the text message says, send them, only them. And he gets really cross, says fucking autocorrect, and throws his phone across the room.
Fuck's sake.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yep, bad plot. you've got the family driving to the mansion. There's a whole bit where she tries to drive a bit weird to get stopped by the police. Like she drives a bit erratically. The police stop her and breathalyze her. She tries to act sexy and she kind of fillets the breathalyzer a little bit. And the policeman's just like, sort your life out, go away.
Why does she want to get stopped by the police?
Because...
Is it just to give him a breathalyzer fellatio show?
I think they want to tell someone that the dad's being held hostage. You know, that kind of, or don't tell anyone or we'll kill him. I think
using
they kind
a
of...
breathalyzer...
Yeah, when she got pulled over, why didn't she say, oh, just a heads up, there's people that are broken in. By the way, do you want to see me suck off this plastic tube?
No idea. There's a lot of things in this film I'm like, oh, there was no need for that. Apart from adult babies.
It sounds like the film. There was no need for this film.
There's no need for this film. It's a lot of cutting in between places before we really get going. It cuts back to George and Vlad and Dimitri, and he's like, stop waving that gun in my face. And Vlad, I can't remember which one's which, he's like, it's fine, it's not real. And he's like, I'll show you. And the other one is smoking a cigarette. He's like, look, they're cigarette lighters. I'll show you. And he's about to light a cigarette himself, but the other one's already smoking. He's like, no, you don't even smoke. Just do it to me. So he points the gun at the cigarette and blows a hole in his face because it's not a cigarette lighter.
I mean, okay.
I feel like it's a bit... I don't want to say like pandemic. I feel like it's a bit reverse engineered. I know.
This is before we get to see the adult babies.
Pretty much.
Weirdly, I'm still on board with it.
Emmerdale, let's go.
Fucking love Paddy.
I need your help, like, working out, not why, but like...
Why you watched it? Because you saw a bunch of names that looked funny and you went, that one looks funny, and you watched it.
Yeah, that's
pretty
why.
much.
But like, why they, like, obviously they were like, right, we need to get the family to this adult baby place. Like, they've got lots of weird bits of plot that just like, oh, well, we don't need the Russian guys anymore, so we'll just shoot one of them in the face.
It sounds like there's a lot of like trying to get to a certain point and not know how to get there, so they backtrack it and do that. Instead of having like the car is broken down outside or near it. Yeah. Let's get some fucking Russian mobsters involved, shoot one of them in the face, and then we can get the woman to suck off a fucking breathalyzer.
It almost sounds like they came up with the name before the actual movie.
The thing is, Flandemic would have been far better written than this. And I also would have got some people from Emmerdale in it.
The thing is, right, it was called Adult Babies, and then when the credits said Attack of the Adult Babies, I was like, okay, there's going to be a bunch of adult babies, and there's going to be some sort of gore horror involved.
Yeah,
I get that. This film again wasn't what I expected it to be in the end, and I just don't.
Maybe it was originally called that, and because it was so misleading, they changed it.
Yeah, that's probably quite likely.
Maybe,
possibly, because it's not really an attack of adult babies. That adult babies are almost a side plot. I don't know. But anyway, we do get to see the adult babies.
Hey.
I think one of them is the little weird one. One of the Human Centipede movies.
The little weird one? Would you like to clarify?
There's a little man in one of... I think he's in Human Centipede 2.
The guy with the glasses.
Haven't seen it. Lawrence Harvey. He was in Human Centipede 2.
Right. And he's
one of the adult babies.
And he's a weird little man.
I'm sticking with it.
All right, you die on the hill if you want.
In fairness, he is the weird little man in Human Centipede 2. He's the one with the bulging... I mean, this is not going to be complimentary. He's got big bulbous eyes, glasses, and I think he's the one who like decides to string them together.
I think so, yeah. So, I expect Twitter beef, but
it's fine.
You know, I'm going
What
with
a weird career.
So, we see the adult babies. They're all lined up in wheelchairs wearing oxygen masks.
Okay.
And the nurses come in and Margaret tells them, like, you know, they need you don't have any breaks from now until 3 a.m. Like, this is it. They need constant attention. They will soil themselves. You'll have to change them. You'll need to feed them. Don't let too much air get to their bits.
Don't.
Is a direct quote, because that will cause problems changing down the line.
What? Sorry? What?
I don't have a baby.
What?
Didn't know that was a thing.
Sorry. Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I just try to process that. Sorry.
Don't let too much air get to their bits, because that will cause a problem changing them later on down the line.
So they fart more.
Yeah. I think, knowing what I now know about the film, I think she wants them to have their nappies on quite a lot and not let too much air get to it.
Cool. All right. Perfect. Excellent.
Later on. Yeah. So now we've got no Russians. George is like, oh, I have to go and sort this out. And
hang on, only one Russian got shot. What happened to the other one?
I think he was sad because he shot his friend. I think they just leave him behind.
He was sad, so he fucked off.
Oh, Dimitri.
I think so, yeah. Oh. So George gets on his motorbike, which won't start for about 3 minutes. Possible, I didn't check, but he's trying to start this motorbike in this garage for an extraordinary amount of time.
Have they done a Neil Breen and kept things in they shouldn't have?
It's a really long time. And then we go back and there is a man watching CCTV in the mansion with the adult babies. And he is surrounded by dirty tissues.
Oh, God.
Like, you can't see him. You can see his laptop where he's looking at the CCTV man, which is now his name officially for the rest of the film, just so you know. Yep. And he's got dirty tissues everywhere. Then he starts saying soon, groaning and wanking. And my next note just says help me in capital letters.
I thought he just had a cold or hay fever and that's why he had the tissues.
No, you didn't.
What the fuck has happened to us?
And then we switch back to George, who is still trying to start his motorbike.
Oh, George.
Right. Okay, I know I'm probably jumping a bit too far forward. It seems like the plot, the main plots, as you said, that's not to do babies, is really bad, and they probably, as you said, stuck with the baby one, or do you not want to see the babies?
There's more baby plot.
Okay.
One of the other things that Margaret said is that sometimes when they drink the milk that they have out of the bottles, their appearance will change slightly, and not to be alarmed.
Right.
My next note just says the adult baby stuff is just, and I actually haven't found a word to end that sentence.
Describe it. We'll end this sentence. And we're writers. We can do it. Well, I say writers.
Barbara, the nurse, is looking after David, and he just starts oinking and farting and shitting.
Yeah.
And at one point, like, he's got his legs up in the air and he's just shitting into this nappy. And his face is turning Piggy. He's got like a piggy nose.
That's the single greatest quote Penny has ever said in this entire podcast.
I don't know why I did this to myself.
Yeah, I mean, go on.
Yeah, so the milk is making their noses turn into prosthetic, obviously not in the universe, but into prosthetic pig noses. So the family get there and the mum's like, I'm going to go in and find the box, you kids stay here. She sneaks in and she just starts looking in different rooms. So she opens the door and she sees this man farting and shitting with his legs in the air, and she just retches and leaves.
What the fuck is this?
She opens another door, talks to Paddy, whatever his real name is. I've only got his Emmerdale name. She goes into another room and there's a giant man in a nappy with a pig nose jumping up and down on a bed and like playing games with a lady in a sexy nurse outfit.
What sort of games?
Details.
He's just no
Tetris.
Mario Party.
Plunk.
It's a bit like she's playing with a puppy.
Ah, okay. Right.
Like he's on the bed being like,
and shit. Well, he can't move, I guess, but
yeah, fetch.
Yeah, and just like one of them's having a bath. I think I saw a pigtail, but I could have made that up. I don't know. And then there's also, she goes in another room and this woman's like patting the baby on the back and it's puking over her shoulder. You know, things that babies do.
That's what babies do.
I mean, that's not funny. There's no joke in that, really, even if it is like a middle-aged pig.
My next note just says, why are they turning into pigs? We'll find out later. Mum gets caught, so she pretends to work there. She's like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm late. And we find out from the CCTV man, he sees George turns up on his motorbike and he's like, oh, George, what are you doing here? You're not allowed here anymore.
Oh.
So George has been there before.
The plot thickens, but only very slightly because there's no real
There'll
plot.
be more farting later coming up.
Yeah. Tim sneaks in and meets Barbara, and David's still in the room being a shitty baby, and Tim and Barbara have a little flirt. She likes his t-shirt. They both went to the same gig apparently, and they swapped numbers.
What?
Ooh, what gig was it?
Yeah,
it was some made up band, and she went, Dirty Nappies, I saw them, they were great. And he was like, oh yeah, I saw them, they kicked me off the stage. Oh, I remember you, let's hang out again, here's my phone number. Totally unnecessary, really awkward. Tim tries to leave. He's like, okay, I've got to go. As he leaves, he steps in adult baby shit.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a hazard. It's a hazard.
Yeah, she's left the nappy on the floor.
In this universe.
I was going to say it starts to get good. The gore in this is actually really good.
Right.
So the mum gets caught, Sandra gets caught by Margaret, and they have a fight, and the mum accidentally, I say accidentally, they are fighting, but Margaret's attacking her with one of those spike things that you put notes on. Like in restaurants and stuff. You put receipts on it. And they're fighting, and she stabs it into Margaret's eye, and Margaret fucking milks it. Like, ah! She's not good. Like, her reactions to injuries are bad.
Her eye going through.
Would you rather she milked that or milked a pig?
Are we talking a pig or an adult baby pig?
An adult baby pig, obviously.
A pig. No, I'd rather she overreacted.
Why did you?
Yeah.
Why did I ask?
Why?
Did I?
But she's like, ah, ah, ah. And then she's fine, and she just puts her sunglasses on. And then she takes her sunglasses off, pokes out the sunglass lens on the eye she's still got left, and she walks around like Daryl Hannah in Kill Bill. So she's got like a sunglasses eye patch on.
Such a baller. All right, I'm warm into this film. Tell me more.
I'm not.
Sandra runs out with the box, falls over, and I've written, ha, there's pictures of George as an adult baby in the box. The family are horrified. Because all the family see all the pictures of him as an adult baby. So imagine seeing pictures of your dad as an adult baby.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
I don't know why I made you laugh either.
Well, that explains why he sent Tim / them to get the
Tim
pictures.
is his stepson, and there was a whole thing all the way through where he kept either calling him Timothy or Tim, and Tim didn't like it, and it was irrelevant. So I guess he sent Tim because he didn't like him. But obviously it all went wrong.
And he hoped he would turn into an adult baby.
I don't know. Well,
so was George also a pig?
No. From what I learned, it's from the milk that they're drinking, right? But from what I learned eventually was that they shouldn't have been turning into pigs. Like, the stuff in the milk does do that to them, but it's not supposed to affect them permanently for years and years and years. So they kind of get Piggy. There's a regression ceremony later, and they're supposed to get un-Piggy, but for some reason it didn't work this time.
Get Piggy, just writing that down. That's my new catchphrase.
Getting Piggy with
Getting
it.
Piggy with it. Na 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 na.
Hello.
Na 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 na.
Getting Piggy with it. Anyway.
The thing is, though, it took a long time. This wasn't obvious all the way through, but they treated you like it was obvious.
What was going on?
The fact that...
You mean?
Yeah, they were just like, oh yeah, they're turning Piggy because of the milk. And you're like, all right, but that took a while to work out. And the fact that I couldn't work out their family dynamic straight away was also
I mean...
I don't know whether the thing about him stealing her pants was to try and show that they were stepbrother and sister, but it didn't seem like that to me. It just sounded incesty. But I digress. So Sandra and the kids have got the box, have stolen the box, but Crazy Clinton has caught them, and she stabs Sandra through the ears. No, through the neck.
Oh.
I apologise. Through the neck with a knitting needle.
Oh, nice.
All right, Frankenstein style.
Yeah.
And then she jams another one up
Ooh.
through her chin, which is quite good.
Nice.
And Sandra's dead. Then, just to make sure, Margaret comes out and smashes her in the head with an axe.
That's excessive.
Yep. Then... No, you good, Dan?
I'm good. I'm fine. I'm coping.
I tell you what, he's seeing Babe in a different light now.
I'm seeing Piglet in a different light now.
So Sandra's just met a horrific end. Then there's an intermission.
Of course there is.
There's literally... The screen changes, it says intermission in neon, and there's two half-naked girls standing there that look really bored, like Babe Station girls. The only connection I have is the CCTV man. He would either be watching the CCTV or he'd be watching Babe Station-y stuff.
Right.
Okay.
The intermission goes on for quite a long time. It's not just a little flash. It's
literally an intermission.
It's like a minute.
Okay, that's quite a long time.
It's quite a long time. And you're just like, all right. And then we're back in the film. Don't know why it was there.
Boiling point. I'm not going to hit it yet. I'll let you continue.
The thing is, I'm genuinely interested.
No, I just said I hit my boiling point. I'm not going to go on. Let Penny continue. Thank you. Jesus Christ. The thing is...
So the intermission's finished, and obviously they've there's intruders. So the nurses are like, right, we're going to release the adult babies. And Clinton's like, well, what about the other nurses? She's like, we're just going to poison them with tea. We're going to kill them. We're going to poison them. And we'll let the adult babies out.
Oh, okay. So they're going to poison all the other nurses.
Yeah, because technically no one's supposed to know they're there because it's very secret. So they could just kill them and nobody would know that they were there in the first place.
And then free the pigs into the wild?
No, just to hunt the intruders, the family.
So now they're hunting pigs.
So,
what are the family made of? Fucking truffles?
So how do they know the pigs are going to hunt them? though? If they can't even move and do shit.
The pigs are still people. The pigs are still grown adult men. They just happen to have piggy snouts.
And hooves?
Yeah, but they don't do anything, right?
No, they talk and they walk and they're still men. They just have piggy noses. And they were acting like babies.
Do they have hands or trotters?
Hands, because they haven't been drinking the milk long enough.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm still...
Oh, yeah, definitely,
Yep.
yeah.
George turns up drunk.
How? He was there a minute ago and he was fine.
I don't know. Suddenly he's drunk. I've missed that bit.
Got shit-faced during the intermission.
Probably.
He hit the bar.
I wish I had.
It's set in the Emmerdale universe. They're always getting drunk up there.
Yep, down in the Woolpack.
Back in the Woolpack. Deep cut.
The thing is, I don't watch Emmerdale, but when I looked it up, I did recognise the guy's face. I was like, oh, he's quite a big...
Yeah, Paddy.
He's not just like he was in 4 episodes of Emmerdale or something.
He's been in it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's recognisable. Big, bold, Dan would recognise him.
Yep.
He's a vet, you know. He's medically trained.
In Emmerdale or in life?
Emmerdale.
So it's Clinton's job to kill all the nurses. She goes around to each of the separate rooms and she's just like, your time's nearly up. Your payment is coming. Please take the adult babies to the sitting room for their reprogression therapy. Here's a cup of tea. Please drink it. And she just does that at every room. Barbara was sneaking around earlier and she heard that they were going to poison them, so she doesn't drink the tea.
Right.
And the CCTV man turns up, because from this point you've only ever seen his hands and heard his disgusting groans and wanking noises.
Well, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, and he's in a wheel. I will never forget about that. And he's in a wheelchair, and he's a scary half pig deformed man. That's not good English, but that's what I've written. He's got trotters, and he's got a piggy nose and a deformed face. So I guess he's had more milk for longer than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly sounds like it.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
He confronts George, and he's like, George says, you should have let me leave, because I guess George used to be an adult baby in this place. And then he met Sandra and fell in love and he didn't want to do this anymore. But the CCTV man wouldn't let him leave. And George comes clean to it all to his family. Apparently there's a thing in the basement that the CCTV man mentions. So that's a new plot twist.
Got a question?
Yes?
You said that George wasn't allowed back earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And now he wasn't allowed to leave?
Yep.
Who was this written by? Children?
I guess they wouldn't let him leave. But now he's left. He shouldn't be back again, I guess.
Maybe.
George tries to kill the CCTV man. Tim tries to kill George. And then the adult babies are all in their wheelchairs at their regression thing. And it's Margaret just puts on a tape, like, what are they called? Not like a self-help tape, but like a hypnotic kind of, the subliminal message without it being subliminal. And it's all like, you are regressing and you're remembering
AMSR.
being a baby and you need to reclaim your memories and reclaim. And it's fucking weird. And then you just see a nurse puking blood because she drank the tea.
Oh.
That's an interesting development.
None of this is an interesting development. Weird bit. So the kids are like, George, what the fuck is going on? Who is this guy? And he explains it to them, and he says the CCTV man's name. So he says, oh, that's blah, blah, blah. But they bleep out his name. And they bleep out his name every time. They don't say it very often, but at least twice they say it, and they bleep it out so that you don't know who it is. But it's not fucking real.
The thing is, I think that's quite a nice point. I quite like that. And I know Dan thinks I'm just doing this to wind him up, but genuinely, I think that's quite a nice...
No, it's not.
Like a clever trope.
No, it's not.
I mean...
The intermission, it also, but it goes on for too long. But...
It had some...
If it's good enough for Tarantino, it's good enough for Dominic Brunt.
It did have some different things in it, but this just seemed like, what can we put in here to make this extra weird? Yes, I don't know what... That's why his name's CCTV man, because they keep bleeping out. Margaret's coming to get them, Barbara, with a chainsaw, and they're locked in CCTV man's office, so they put him against the door and put the parking brake on so that they can block the door. They make a point of saying that they're putting the parking brake on.
Yeah. Aren't we clever?
Gold.
Yeah, I think he says something and he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll put the parking brake on. So Margaret goes all the Shining, and she chainsaws through the door, but also chainsaws CCTV man in half, which is quite good. But at one point, he tries to get out of he's mostly in half, and he tries to get out of his wheelchair. So he puts his hands on the armrest and pushes himself up, but he's in half. So the top half of him gets up and then falls out because he's cut in half.
His legs are still sitting down, kind of thing.
Yeah, like the gore was good.
Pretty good.
I enjoyed the gore. So George shoots at the door, manages to shoot through the door into the same eye that Margaret's already been stabbed in.
Impressive.
And she just goes, ow, 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 ow.
But she was totally fine when she got stabbed in the eye after a couple of seconds.
Yeah, but it's just the way she's not like, ah. She literally says, ow, 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 ow,
She
ow.
shouldn't be saying anything. She would be dead.
Well, that too.
That said, I'm still on board.
The adult babies wake up from their regression thing where they should be okay, but they've still got pig noses. And they're a bit like, did we drink too much? And they're like, no, you have to have a longer...
Milking
I've got
session?
no words today. Oh, no, a longer exposure to it.
Session? Anything like that?
Oh, I'm having flashbacks to what is happening next. I'm getting quite upset.
I'm excited.
My eyes are not happy.
For the listeners, Penny just had a mental breakdown. Again. This hasn't happened really since 50 Shades, right?
No. Barbara gets attacked by the adult babies.
Okay.
Because I think she gave the tea to David, who happened to be the health minister.
of the UK?
Because all these people are like
yes.
fancy people.
Right.
They attack her and they're holding her down and they're like, you killed the health minister. Are there any judges here? And the weird little man from the Human Centipede is apparently a judge. And he sentences her. He sentences her to death.
I'm not sure that's how the legal system works, but I'm with it, yes.
No, so they say that they're going to kill her by any means available. Apparently, the first available mean is to smother her with a shitty nappy.
Well, people use pillows, don't they? There's no difference between a pillow and a shitty nappy.
Hi, and welcome to Jackass.
From the shot that I am remembering that I have tried to block out, you realise they're smothering her because there is something on her face. Then they lift it up and her face is covered in shit. And then they put it down again, so that's how you know it's a shitty nappy.
Right.
But I also feel like the shit was like painted on, so there's eye holes and stuff, and it like stops.
What would you have preferred? Like a log shape across her forehead?
No, but like if you splattered a shitty why is this happening? It was a very neat amount. I can't.
Did it look like clown makeup, but instead of white,
Yes.
it was brown? Like a brown mime.
It was, yeah. I know. Tim and George are fighting and Kim is like, stop. So she shoots up into the ceiling because she's got a gun. The bullet goes through the ceiling and into the judge, human centipede, weird man, adult baby's gooch and kills him. I had to rewind it because
I bet you did.
I hadn't quite. It went up through the ceiling, and then I just remember him going, missed both my legs, and then he fell down. So the ceiling shot him up in. I don't know.
So it went through his gooch up to the ceiling.
No, it went. She was in the room below. This is why I had to rewind it, and she shot up, and it went through the ceiling, so it went through the floor and into him.
To his gooch.
Yeah, but he went, oh, you missed both my legs. So I assumed it hit him in the groinal region.
Yeah, it would have.
But from underneath.
It would have, penetrated the gooch, straight up, probably left in his gut somewhere.
There you go.
He'll shit it out into a nappy in about 20 minutes, doesn't matter.
No, he's dead.
Good point.
He'll still shit it out though.
Kim fancies Tim, tells him she does. I'm like, that's the least of their problems. And the adult babies start to hunt the family by also wearing hunting jackets. So there are large, and I'm not being mean, they are large men in nappies and little red hunting jackets.
I cannot tell you how on board with this film is. I'm tempted to leave now and watch it.
George finds Hyperlax, which he has to explain is a military-grade laxative, which comes in a liquid and a gas form.
Why does it come in a gas form?
Because plot later on. But I'm like, oh, okay, this laxative is really strong. I can see where this is going. He said, basically, they used to put a little bit of the laxative in the milk, like a drop in the milk, to help them shit quicker, like to help them. I can't remember. He says it in a way like to help them produce.
He's
quicker.
literally just explaining a laxative.
But why?
Yeah, but he's like, it adds to the feed He's like, it's quicker, so it adds to the feed. I've written, which I think is the shitty nappies.
No.
And then in big capital letters, I've written, the shit is the food for the thing in the basement.
Oh, I didn't see that coming. I thought you meant they would shit everything out and then they just guzzle more milk like a greedy piggy.
What a great twist.
No. I can't explain what Dan looks like right now.
He looks like he's got a fever you can't
I
sweat
look like Tim Robbins after he's just seen a ghost.
Yep. That's why they put a bit of laxative in it, because they want them to shit out faster to feed more.
The thing in the basement.
The thing in the basement.
We don't know what it is at the moment.
No.
We just know the CCTV guy said something about the thing in the basement. Okay.
Oh, I lied. David's not dead because it says George fights adult baby David. They have a fight.
I thought he was cut in half.
No, that's the CCTV man. This is one of the adult babies. Yeah. And he says one of my favourite things ever. I'm going to break you like an inner city social worker.
Pretty good.
Which is not my favourite. There is another quote that is even better. They're having a fight.
Okay.
And David's punching the shit out of George. And then George manages to hold up a cleaver, which David punches right in between the knuckles. And then George pulls it out and stabs him in the neck. David's now dead. Margaret runs up and stabs George a lot in the stomach. And then...
Who's Margaret? His wife?
No, Margaret's the head nurse.
Oh, okay.
And then Tom...
The one in black.
Tom kills Clinton. Can't remember how he kills Clinton. That's the other crazy
Did
nurse.
you say Tom or Tim?
Sorry, Tim.
Okay. I was like, where the fuck has Tom come from?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of Tom Hiddleston to save me from the trauma.
He's the mechanic who came to fix George's bike.
As the nurse is stabbing George, she says, I'm going to cut you like a state pension. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good line.
That's a good one. And
That's a good line.
Tim chainsaws Margaret in half, but like a roast carrot, like vertically rather than CCTV.
Rather than into 3 lumps.
Yeah. So CCTV man was in the middle, Margaret's in half the other way. George's intestines are now on the outside of him, but he's still alive.
Right.
Like they're still on the outside.
Of course.
And he says how it's a secret society, which Tim is like, oh, you're not just kinky masons. He's like, no, it's much worse than that. And then then the film turns into a cartoon. It's like a black and white. It looks like an old black and white Disney Steamboat Willie kind of film. But it's the explanation of power and money and how the thing in the basement feeds on the adult baby shit. And then it lactates the milk, which they drink, and it lays golden nuggets. And then I've written, oh, sorry, it shits, not lays them, because he actually says the nuggets come out of the creature's butthole.
The cereal, gold nuggets?
No actual nuggets of gold. Were you with us on this, Dan? The thing in the basement eats the adult baby shit, yeah?
Yeah, I heard you, Pen.
And that's why they love it, because
Pen.
he shits out gold nuggets. So Kim says what we're all thinking, because, you know, he eats the shit and he gives them the milk. And Kim's like, why do you all act like babies? Couldn't you just shit? And he's like, meh, tradition. So there's no need for them to be adult babies at all.
That's not is that the ending?
No, but there's no need for them to be adult babies.
That's
Tradition.
so good.
There's
That's
literally
so good.
no reason.
Oh, it's Pen, it's so good.
It's
Shut
not.
the fuck up. It's not, Andy. Shut
It's
up.
not. You could literally have rich people could still drink the milk, and I guess they could still shit into a nappy or shit into some sort of receptacle.
Stupid shock
But there's no
value is what it
reason
is.
for them to crawl around and have nursey and play and be a baby. There's no reason for them to be adult babies, which is the title of the movie.
It's tradition.
It's bullshit.
It's tradition means they can get away with it. They can do whatever they want. It's tradition.
It's the art of not making sense, as we learned a couple of episodes ago.
Kim gets poo on her face. Ask Tim if she's got poo on her face, and he says no, she looks fine.
I love that you made a note of that as well. You're like,
She's like,
this will be important.
Better write this down.
well, they're all
down.
going on about how places stink, because obviously there's shit everywhere. And she's like, oh, it still stinks in here. Have I got poo on my face? And he's like, no, you look fine.
Okay, cool.
George is like, I've got her in this. So he straps his guts in. Not quite sure what he does it with, but he manages to strap them in, and he lures all the adult babies into a room, which he has filled with hyperlax. Does anyone want to guess what happens next? Yeah.
Do they all shit themselves to death?
Yes.
Did they all shit themselves? Yeah.
And it explodes out as if you've thrown a tomato at a wall. They start to gurgle and shit themselves into their nappies, and then it explodes, and then they die.
Is it like when you overfill a water balloon?
I think that the nappies just get browner, and then it explodes, and it's not even like a tomato. It's like they've shot a watermelon out of their asses into the wall, and it splats, and it's either brown or red or both. Then we see the thing in the basement.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Tim and Kim find the thing in the basement.
Yep.
It looks like a weird, and I've written cute in inverted commas because it's not, but it's kind of piggy. It kind of looks like a shaved guinea pig, but it's a giant, like it fills up the room, and it's weird. And then Tim's like, oh, it's trying to talk to me. It's trying to talk to me. And then he passes out, and the guinea pig thing ends up talking to him on an alternative plane of existence.
Yeah.
So there's a weird bit where it's a bit trippy and stuff, and he's talking to Tim, and he says like, oh, I've built pyramids and cathedrals. I'm a god. I'm going to command an army. He tells Tim that he is the god of excrement. He's literally a poo god, a god of poo.
Well, that wraps it up for today's episode. We'll see you next time. Bye. I'm fucking done.
I've got a load of questions.
I'm nearly finished. Does that
Let her
help?
finish, please, for the love of God.
The poo god, as it shall now be named, is reading Tim's mind, and then it turns into claymation. Because we're trying to cram all the things we learnt in film school in here or something.
The Wallace and Gromit appear or something.
So there's claymation Tim, the claymation poo god, and Kim, and the soundtrack is very 90s trance. It made me think of like Train Spotting-y, human traffic-y music. Does that make sense for everyone?
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. Yep.
There's the bottle now of Hyperlax. Don't know where that came from. And Tim uses the Force because it's near the poo god.
Sorry, Tim. Sorry, what? Tim uses the Force because...
You know, Star Wars.
A claymation different adult baby turns up as well, and he has a fight with Kim and tries to chainsaw her. So the bottle of laxative ends up near the feet of the poo god. So Tim's using the Force, and I'm like, oh, he's going to grab the bottle.
Okay.
He doesn't. He turns it into a burger.
Just fucking no. Just no. I've tried to hold myself back, but now it's all coming out. What the fuck? Honestly.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, you
Continue.
wait. You wait.
Sorry. I tried.
He turns it into a claymation burger, and the poo god eats it.
Yeah, you would. It's a burger.
Yeah. Kim and Tim kiss. They drive off. Because you're like, oh, the laxative, it will probably have shit itself to death or whatever. And as they're driving off, you see the mansion in the background, and the poo god is coming out of the top of it. Like, I guess because it's got bigger.
Right.
And then I think it chases them because Kim's like, you need to speed up. You need to fucking put your foot down. It's coming. And Tim says, I'm really sorry. I really tried. Then the film rewinds.
Right.
What?
It literally rewinds, and you see the whole film right back to the beginning when they're playing their ball game at the beginning, the family.
Oh, we're going to see something we missed?
No.
Oh.
Then it's just space.
Credits?
Yeah. It's
What?
just...
What?
It's space.
Pen.
I know.
Pen,
I don't know how to explain it.
It rewinds.
The whole film. You even see the intermission again. It rewinds through the whole film. It's my favourite noise.
Oh my God.
And you get to the end and you see Tim and George and Sandra and they're playing the game. And then it's space. It's literally like the world, like the top of the world, to the point where I thought like a new film had started. You know, sometimes that's like not the Universal logo.
Or something.
The intro. Mm-hmm. And then there was some spaceships, I think.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, is the poo god going to be like that baby in space in what's that movie?
Space Odyssey.
Yeah. But no, it was just the Earth and some spaceships. And then it was the end. So like Hatchet ending, but 1,000 times worse.
No, because the cycle is going to repeat itself. That's what he's getting at. He built the pyramids. He built Rome. The cycle repeats.
Is he?
Yes.
Why do you understand this film? I'm slightly worried.
Because that's what Andy does. He likes to understand shitness. I say that with resentment in my voice. So, what do you think of the film?
I think if it had been a more obvious attack of the adult babies, I would have been okay with it. I don't know. The adult babies seemed unnecessary, but even more so because the title of the movie was Adult Babies. And then it was just like, oh, we can put claymation and we can put a cartoon in here, and then this doesn't...
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I looked up some reviews afterwards and people seem to like it.
Oh, get fucked if they fucking like that.
People mentioned a film called Society, which I have seen clips of in some documentaries, and it's like a really fucked up kind of body horror gross film, so why I haven't watched it. And some people say it's like a modern day version of that. I think it's trying to be one of those gross films for the sake of it, but it also felt weird because it was full of like a bunch of English actors
shitting themselves.
Yeah,
it's laced with satire.
Is it?
Well, I assume
all the nods towards political empowerment and aristocracy, that is all satire. The fact that they are like fucking, what was the phrase they used? Kinky Masons?
Yeah.
All of that is like a satirical look at it.
I think that's what Society was like, because the bits that I've seen was like a massive party and it turned into a bit of an orgy, and then they moulded together, and that was a very body horror comment on class and things like that, but I haven't wanted to...
Yeah, you think how often they shit on other people.
Yeah, and it was like they're drinking from the teat of this guinea pig thing, and then it's eating the shit to shit out gold. Like, I got it. It just didn't need it.
So you can get the metaphors in this, but not in fucking Parasite.
Nobody was carrying around a big rock. Sorry.
I don't blame her.
No, they were shitting in nappies.
How are you okay with this, Andy?
Yeah, it's slightly worrying.
2 reasons. 1,
go on.
It's quite easy to break down. You can see where that's going.
Just like shit.
2,
go on.
2, it's annoyed you so much, it's been the highlight of my week.
Yeah, but when I get annoyed, I just stay silent.
Yeah, but I can see you seething.
Fuck, man. I mean, this is like bad biology levels of...
Yeah, but I quite liked bad biology as well. Again, it's like living in its own universe.
I know you did, and I'm actually not that surprised that you did like this, thinking about it now.
It felt to me like it was too many different pointless...
It's pointless.
...bits.
It sounds like they've... Like, yeah, but so is Rubber.
Yeah, but at least Rubber has some comedy.
Rubber was cohesive, though. This didn't feel very cohesive. They're like, right, we've got this weird bit about adult babies, but then we need to get them from here to here, so let's have some Russians and...
Fucking hell.
Oh, if we make that claymation, it'll be trippy, and we can explain...
I think that's what they're going for. They're going for...
Yeah, that's fine, but it doesn't exactly make it, oh, that's fine, then it's good. It's not. That sounds...
No. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying I understand what they're doing with it. They've got, like, fractious elements that should work against each other, but they use them in the same thing. Like, you wouldn't normally have a black and white cartoon and claymation and
an intermission.
And an intermission. But they still do it because it is jarring, and that is what they're going for.
Yeah, So I'm
fully on board. They've hit what they're trying to do.
And I got it with the shock bit and the gross bit, but like with the stuff like them shitting and farting and stuff, and I'm not a grown-up, but I was like, this is fucking puerile. Like, I like a shit joke as much as the next person. You know, how many times did we say hyena poo-poo? You know, I laugh.
You're still laughing at
No, I laugh when someone says semi, you know. But, like, it was just old men shitting. I was just like, nah, it's not my thing. So maybe it's a masterpiece of cinema and I just didn't get it. But I'm not convinced it is.
No, it's a load of bullshit. And it's just trying to be... Sorry, I'm just going to have a fucking final word on it. It's just going to be like... It's there to be shock value. It's probably... I think I said this to you before the podcast. The reason it's called Adult Babies is that you can stick that in the trailer and you think, oh, there you go, it's Adult Babies. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then that's the funny...
Well, that's the reason I picked it. I went through a list of horror movies and literally just picked it because of the name. So it worked,
so
I guess.
That plan fucking worked.
Yeah,
good one, Pen.
The guests will soil themselves. They will need changing frequently. They will require feeds. They will have tantrums. You will handle all of these matters precisely as you would an infant.
I'm fucking emotionally scarred by that now. I don't know if I can do my one.
It's your turn now as well.
Fucking hell. No.
There's no poo in yours, it's fine. Oh, wait.
There is a poo in mine.
Segue.
Oh, Pen, that's probably the best thing you've ever said. Anyway, if you're still with us, I'm
sorry.
I was going to talk about something else this week, but I was watching... Well, what normally happens on the weekends in my house is my other half, it's usually her turn to pick a movie. But this time, no, I'm normally, when she picks something, I'm always like, oh, it's a kid's film. We watch Togo. We watch something. Like, it's going to be cute and cuddly and all that kind of thing. She likes those kind of films. So usually I'm on my phone when she's watching something. She picked this weekend Christopher Robin, which was the 2018 film based off Christopher Robin, who is in the Winnie the Pooh universe. This is a live action Winnie the Pooh film with Ewan McGregor as Christopher Robin. I will not spoil this film. I'm going to talk about it really quickly. So basically, it's a PG kids film, and I think that it shouldn't be. I have slight concerns about some of the things that go on in this film, and it was only 2 years old. I previously told the guys, I sent them a trailer for this film, and there was a piss take version of this trailer that they redid it like if it was a horror film. Now, that's not the real trailer, but all these guys thought, oh, that'd be scary if it was like that.
I did not like Creepy with Winnie the Pooh.
Creepy Winnie the Pooh is pretty creepy, right? Now, that was a piss take trailer of the original trailer for this film. But the thing is, and the ironic thing is that this film is more like that trailer than the original non-edited horror trailer of Christopher Robin. For example, I am convinced after the first 30 minutes of this film that Winnie the Pooh seems to be like some sexual stoner predator addicted to honey.
Penny's perked up.
I'm cocking my head at you like a dog that doesn't understand.
Winnie the Pooh seems to talk in a different way when none of the other animals are around Christopher Robin. The way he does it is... He's obviously got his Pooh Bear voice, and I can't do his Pooh Bear voice, but it's like very slow, and it's like, oh, Christopher Robin, oh. But he seems like overly attached to Christopher Robin, especially in the opening of this film, a little bit.
I mean, they're best friends, right?
He hasn't seen him for like 20, 30 years.
Okay. Well, this is when he sees him as a kid, and then the whole film is basically him returning when he's like 40-odd years old back to the 100-acre wood, and they're all like, where did you go? It's like Animal Crossing, the movie, pretty much. You return after a while, and then you go like, oh, all these plants need weeding, and look what happened to the 100-acre wood.
Such a fucking nerd.
Thanks, mate. This is also a film that is incredibly depressing for the first hour because it goes through Christopher Robin's life really, really quickly and how bad his life gets once he leaves the 100-acre wood as a kid. Like, he loses his job, or he's about to lose his job if he doesn't fire people. He goes to war. When he goes to war, his wife is pregnant with a baby.
As opposed
when he comes back from war, and bearing in mind, it's a Winnie the Pooh film, and I'm watching Save It Private Ryan in the first 20 minutes. He comes back from war, and the child has been born, and the child doesn't know who Christopher Robin is because she was pregnant when he went to war. And he's like, hello, I am your father. And the child is just staring at him like, get away from me.
How old is the kid when he comes back?
Get away from me.
5 or 10?
So yeah, he's like, you're not my real dad.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, that's the first 45 minutes. You remember the opening scene to Up?
Yeah.
Imagine that for 45 minutes.
Fuck that, I hate Up.
That's Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh kids film. He basically has a midlife crisis at the start of the film, and the kids are watching a man have a midlife crisis. At some point in the film, Christopher Robin, as an older man, as Ewan McGregor, does go back to 100-acre woods, and he finds Winnie the Pooh years later.
Question, where does he find him?
In a tree.
Okay.
Dead in a ditch because he hasn't fed him for 40 years.
Oh, he's like Neopets.
They have this theory that Winnie the Pooh can come out of a tree and find Christopher Robin wherever he may be. In the nearest tree. That's the theory they're going with.
In the 100-acre wood or just in life?
In the real life. So they come in and out of the 100-acre wood through like tree trunks. It's weird.
Okay.
That's how he comes in and out of the world.
Why didn't he find him in a tree sooner?
Because he had life. He had a midlife crisis. He had life ahead of him, and he decided that he was going to be a man and go to war and all this kind of stuff. And he just, he
Imagine
forgot.
if Winnie the Pooh turned up in a tree while you were at war.
I mean, he'd be dead straight away.
For that is the film I want to watch.
So when he does reunite with him when he's older, the way he obviously reunites with him is Pooh's favourite food, as everyone knows, is honey.
Funny.
Now, I'm going to be as honest as possible when I say this, and I'm sending a picture to the guys as we speak. There is a shot of when he first meets Pooh again, and he brings him back to his house. The first shot you see is Winnie the Pooh face down, no arms or anything, just complete face down in honey, like a plate of honey. But you don't know that. The first shot you see is Christopher Robin sitting down and Pooh Bear with his head in front of his lap going up and down, up and down.
So we're talking some mild...
Like you're breathing into a breathalyzer.
Yeah.
I know this is a podcast, and yes, I will try to exaggerate things at times. There's 3 shots that happen before you realize what he's eating is honey. For the first 3 shots, you think as an adult that Winnie the Pooh is now sucking off Christopher Robin in the kitchen. And I was stunned when I saw it because I just had a moment. And then when the camera eventually showed what he was eating, like when it panned down and it wasn't his dick, it was a plate of honey. And all you can hear in the background is by Pooh Bear.
Why is the plate in his lap?
It's on the table. So imagine Christopher Robin sitting in a chair, his legs under the table. You just see Christopher Robin over his shoulder and a bear's head going up and down.
Oh.
So, okay, that's a common mistake. Maybe that was not intentional and that was fine and everything. Pooh obviously has honey on his lips and everything. And he then at one point puts honey on Christopher Robin's lips and looks like...
No.
Moving on.
Yep.
I reckon these are very deliberate things they've done. Because those sort of things...
They shouldn't for a children's film.
They're in every Disney film. You watch any Disney film from
I
like the
know.
fucking 60s, 70s, 90s, any animated one, they always have those sort of things in it.
Fine.
There's a horror bit where Pooh Bear goes back to the 100-acre wood. Christopher Robin has abandoned it so much it's turned into the Blair Witch Project. And Pooh Bear is walking around. It's like all foggy and shit and it's dark and you can't see. And the camera is doing 100%, I guarantee you this, it's doing the camera angles you expect from a horror film, where it's one take following Pooh Bear and his little legs as he's scared of like what's happening. He sees a door. It's a creaky, slightly ajar door, and he's like, I don't want to go in there. And he goes in there and it's completely pitch black. This is a Winnie the Pooh film, everyone.
Yeah, but they love a bit of mild peril in kids' films. So.
I was terrified. Not to mention that Pooh Bear looks fucking terrifying live action wise.
Oh, he looks lovely.
No, he doesn't.
They did an alright job, like Paddington.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to go for. Like, he's a bit too sexual predator in this. I'm just being honest. And then the last kind of thing I put on here, because it goes on for a bit. I think the second half of it is a kids' film. The first half of it seems to be some weird mix of loads of genres. Eeyore, one of my favorite characters. Christopher Robin, when he finds Eeyore as an adult, of course, Eeyore is going down a riverfall. He's kind of lying down in the water and he says the words, "I'm done for this world. Time to go on without me." And he's going towards a waterfall to kill himself.
What? I know he's depressed, but what?
Got your attention now, didn't I?
Well, he's also a stuffed animal, so he's not going to die. He'll just lose a bit of stuffing.
That's not the point.
Christopher Robin sees him. He tries to save him and it's like, oh, the waterfall's just a tiny one. Ha 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 ha. And they forget about it.
I feel like I need to watch this.
So that's all I'm going to spoil slightly because I really like this film. As surprising as that sound, I think this is really, really good film. Mainly because I went in expecting a kiddie, like, I guess I wasn't even paying attention.
Suicide and fellatio.
Yeah, but the thing is, it kind of was like, it made it interesting because you were like, I know they're not doing this intentionally, but there's some things like horror scenes that happen and just weird, off-the-cuff scenes you wouldn't expect in a kids film that made me go, this is like really odd, but it keeps you hooked to see what happens next in a really strange,
to see if
weird
Rabbit
way.
hangs himself or has ADHD.
You never know.
I can't believe you're okay with all these different genres and stuff, but claymation and cartoons in a horror film, you're like, no, we mustn't have it. Oh, it's just
if Winnie the
drama school.
Crowbarred in.
Pick a fucking side, you dick.
If Winnie the Pooh turned into a claymation, I would absolutely have a go at it if it didn't need to do that.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
Okay, so I don't know what your argument here is. Why are all films like this if they change genres? Of course there's going to be films with different types of genres, but it's when you use it excessively or just for no apparent reason or just anything like that.
I reckon there are reasons,
and
and Pen just didn't tell us because she's rubbish.
they're not very clear, are they, to the viewer? And that's what you should.
You weren't viewing it; you were
clear.
listening to someone else.
Get fucked. Anyway. Yeah, it's a really good watch. People are going to make a comparison to Paddington. I would say it's not on the same levels as Paddington, but it's still a good film that I didn't think I was going to like. And yes, you can see all those scenes that I talked about that, and when you see them, you'll know when they come up and you can go, oh no, that's just the camera being the camera, or that's just, there for some mild peril. But to me, I think it was a little bit too much. I'm just saying, just a little bit too much on the adult T side.
Just my luck. A heffalump, leering at his lunch.
Eeyore, I'm not a heffalump.
Doesn't matter anyway. Headed for the waterfall. I'll be gone soon.
Oh no, not the waterfall.
All right, film out of the hat this week was my choice, which was the 1990 film Jacob's Ladder. One of my favorite horror films, I think, ever.
Is it a horror film? Are we calling it a horror film?
Psychological horror.
Everyone calls it a horror film.
Are we getting the theme in there?
What are you talking about?
Are we getting the internet ghost?
Whoa, I'm an internet ghost. I'm an internet ghost.
I'll be honest.
For those listening.
Technically, mine was a horror film too.
Play it again.
Whoa, I'm an internet.
You only get one. So, Jacob's Ladder, after all that, let's talk about horror film. Because that's what we need to talk about. Traumatic things.
Focus up.
So, Jacob's Ladder opens with a couple of helicopters in Vietnam. And we are in 1971. We are introduced to Jacob Singer, who is Tim Robbins. And he is with his platoon in the middle of Vietnam. They're all chatting away, having fun.
Lads. Talking about dicks.
Talking about wanking and
stuff.
pigs and stuff.
Wanking and pigs and stuff. They are suddenly attacked, their platoon. Jacob is not really moving. He's kind of still, and then eventually he sits down, and he's just, while all this attacking is going on, and this firefight and explosions and all sorts, they see people in the trees apparently, so they start attacking. And Jacob sits down and just stares and cries. There's some people with blood coming out of their mouths and weird phlegmy shit coming out of their mouths. Like, weird shit is going on with some of the soldiers.
They're screaming that, like, their heads hurt and stuff.
Screaming at their heads, yeah. One of the guys is, like, just rolling around on the floor and shit.
Like, spinning around in circles.
Like a chicken. But he survives. But he has to run away on his own. When he runs away, he gets stabbed by the enemy. He wakes up in a subway. He fell asleep reading a book, and he goes to the compartment where there's an old woman staring at him all the time. It's a really weird subway.
I've decided to name her Unhelpful Tube Bitch. Because she was really unhelpful.
I think he was asking, where are we? What station we're at?
He was just like, have we been past so-and-so yet?
Yeah.
And she just looked at him.
So the thing about it is, well, at this point, like, the subway is pretty much, or the subway train he's in, it's constantly going dark and bright again because going through different tunnels and stuff, but it's doing it at an exaggerated rate. So, like, when you think something is going to go dark, it doesn't. That's how you do psychological horror. You keep them tense. I love it. He exits the train, and as he's exiting the train, there is a homeless person asleep on the other side of the door. And as he's walking away from the door, he sees some sort of weird, how do you describe it, lizard leg?
It looked a bit penisy, I'm not going to lie.
I thought it was a tail, personally. You can see both of his feet.
It kind of looks like a tail.
Oh, it could have been a tail.
He kind of sees a little tail coming out of it. We don't call it penis. So he leaves the train station, but he can't get out because all the doors are locked and chained. So the exits on
I fucking hate when they do that.
I really hate when they close the doors when the trains are still running.
Yeah, but he walks on the track to get out. Is that a thing?
The exit is on the other side of the railway.
He had to cross the line.
So as he's crossing these railway lines, a train suddenly comes towards him. One of my favourite bits is he dodges out of the train. In a way, side to side dodging on the train ain't gonna work.
It's like he's trying to juke it, isn't he? He's trying to throw like a mad juke.
Throw a curveball.
And he doesn't.
I couldn't work out if there was like a fork, like a fork in the track. So he was like,
which way do I go? Yeah.
He wasn't going far enough either way for it to make a difference.
I don't think there was.
Okay, well then he managed to dodge the train. So there you go.
Well, he doesn't. But he lays under it.
No, he jumps to the other side of the track.
He jumps to the side of it, kind of lays down, and as he's looking up at the train passing by with all its windows, suddenly the train looks empty, and then when it gets to the halfway point of that train, there's people pressed up on the door with like weird weird faces, and there's a guy at the back of the train looking up at him and just waving at him. No real face on them. They just kind of look a bit odd, and what the fuck is this going on? He's a bit freaked out by that.
Spooky.
He lives in a sad, downtrodden New York neighborhood, and he finally gets home to Jesse, who is worried about him being so late, and they have naked shower sex. Another naked shower sex scene on The Unusual Suspects.
Tim Robbins' butt.
In Nam, he is crawling around in the jungle. He gets another flashback. We basically cut to Nam at various points in the film, usually when he's asleep or he's having a nightmare. He is asleep at this point, and he's crawling around in the jungle. He notices a spider web. He wakes up in the morning to make love to Jesse. At this point, he's got a couple of old photographs. One of them is his ex-wife, Sarah. And there's also a picture of Jacob's son, Macaulay Culkin. No,
Little
Gabe.
tiny Macaulay.
When was Home Alone?
It was 94. So he did, he did this at, no, the first Home Alone, I believe,
91?
was slightly after this, was 91. And then
So he got his start here, maybe.
he's uncredited.
Yeah.
The only thing I could find out was that his parents didn't want him to be credited in it or something.
In this film?
Because I guess because it was scary and he was, going to go on to be... I either saw that like his parents did not want him to be credited in it. I couldn't really find out why.
They should credit him now. He's like 46, right?
He's on the IMDb page, but under uncredited.
Unless he's too scared to watch it still, I don't know. Anyway, there's a picture of Jacob's son, who is Gabe. He's dead, as we find out.
That's not funny.
Wow.
Fucking
It's
hell,
not funny,
Pen.
it's just the way you were
Holy
like,
fuck.
he's dead.
Jesus Christ.
Just explaining
It
the
was the way
story,
Dan said it. I know, it was just the way you said it. Sorry.
which makes him cry.
Yeah, I hope you feel good, Penny.
Does that make you laugh?
Fuck.
I feel better because I've got a lot of shit off my chest now, so I'm in a better mood. Hey.
Hey, fucking whoa. There we go. That's a qualified. He gets sent all these photos. Ex-wife is in these photos, the son, his past life, essentially. Jesse is kind of asking all the questions like, who's this? She calls his ex-wife she looks like a real bitch.
Yeah.
Jesse is awful.
No.
I mean,
I now know why, but she's a dick. I don't know
she's
why I liked her in the
lovely.
first place.
Yeah. I'm on Team Jesse here as well.
R.I.P. by the way, she's dead. She died in 2014, the real actor.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the last film she's in, which comes out I think this year or next year, is with Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kieran.
It's a ring.
It's not.
They already remade it, and it sounds terrible.
And it was awful. And we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, she then sees all these photographs and making him cry and decides to burn them in the incinerator.
Yeah.
Without telling him? I don't think she ever tells him, right?
No.
But she's like, I don't like things that make you cry, but this is...
Let me burn them in an evil way.
So what does she do with onions?
Oh my fucking god.
Oh god.
Except for the one that Jacob keeps in his wallet, which is of his late son. Just good recovery there, Dan. Jacob, he's going to work and he is a postman. The scariest of all jobs.
Yeah, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Carry on.
He flirts at work.
Cut that out.
Yeah, we'll definitely not. He flirts at work with Jesse, so I guess he...
Ben, shut the fuck up.
I can't work on these conditions. Right. He flirts at work with Jesse, who I guess he met at the post office as well. And then he goes for a massage to Louis.
No, a massage. He goes to having been to a chiropractor, it fucking hurts.
Blame Wikipedia.
It's a chiropractor.
Wonderful, but...
All right, I'm reading from Wikipedia. Jesus Christ, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. Fine.
It's not.
It's a happy Thai massage.
No. Definitely not.
With a happy ending. He goes to the chiropractor, Louis, then. Jesus Christ. Who feels that Jacob is terribly tense. And at this point, he goes back to the moment where he's found in Vietnam while he's getting this massage. I think this is at the point where he's been transported into the helicopter. We see like various bits as slowly like pieces itself together as we go on. But his body is found after being stabbed by someone in Vietnam when he ran away. And it's been loaded into the helicopter. Louis does all his magic work and he is staring down at him like he's some sort of angel. In fact, he even says, you're like an angel or something along those lines to him.
Didn't he call him like a big fat cherub?
Yeah, he's got a chubby cherub face.
And Jacob is relaxed. He feels good. He feels good that he's gone to his old friend Louis for a nice old rub down.
Crunch.
You're making
Walking
this
down-
far more.
What?
It's not a fucking rub down. I was going to say a clinical practice, but
All
I don't
right,
think chiropractors
it's a
are,
joke.
like-
It's a joke.
It's not funny. There's nothing
Oh.
funny about having a bad back.
Oh yeah, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Speaking of which, he walks down the street in his uniform. A group of young women start singing to him, "Hey, Mr. Postman," and he's all shy and bashful, like, "Oh," goes away. Then he goes down an alleyway and a car tries to run him over. And there's a man behind the car that's saying, "Get out of the way, get out of the way." This car is fucking going everywhere on the road. It is going side to side. It is like the opening of Rubber when the guy's hitting the chairs, just intentionally going side to side down this like little, I think it's an alleyway, or I can't remember if it's a
bridge.
water.
But again,
bridge,
he's trying to fucking zigzag across the road like he's trying to get rid of a fucking alligator. Why doesn't he
So he
just...
can't,
Yes,
like,
but the car's
hide.
zigzagging too.
Yeah, but what's he going to gain by also zigzagging apart from slowing him down?
I slowed both of them down, didn't it? Because the car is slowing down, zigzagging as well. It was not beneficial for either.
Oh yeah,
It
good
was-
point. That car
yeah.
that can go up to fucking 90 miles an hour is really slowed
You know what I
down.
mean? It could get him quicker if it went in a straight line, is all I mean.
Right, we're all angry today. Can we just take a minute to calm down a bit?
I'm fine, I told you. I got all that shit off my chest. I feel good. I'm singing songs. You guys don't like it. I'm having a lovely time.
I was having a good time when we were talking about adult babies.
Says a lot about you. Anyway, the car misses him as he dodges out of the way into a door, and as he's looking at the car as it's coming by, we see two faces in the back seat. This moment when I saw this film the first time scared the living fucking piss out of me. It's one guy with no face and just staring at him, and then he runs out as the car passes and drives away and looks in the back, and there's a guy with like hair and his face is all weird. It's the stuff out of fucking nightmares. It's
How
just like
old were you when you watched this the first time?
17.
I was saying to Dan beforehand that if I'd have seen this when I was 17, I imagine it would have...
Scar-
Not that I didn't like it. I did really like it, but I feel like 17-year-old film studies me would have been all over this shit. And it would have had slightly more of an impact
Why
on
is
me.
it always
Yeah,
my
same.
films that are film study related? Why?
I
Drive,
don't know. I'm not...
Parasite, this film.
Because they're good and they're proper films and they're not about men shitting themselves.
Thank you.
But
All I wanted to hear.
yeah, I feel like if I'd have seen this at Dan's age, it would have... At Dan's age? When I was 17. Dan is not 17.
Back in my day.
No, but you know, if I'd have seen this as a 17-year-old, I think
understand.
it would have had a greater impact on me.
You two also watched it in the bright daylight time, so come on, guys, you cheated a little bit there, especially Andy.
No, because I
Especially
can watch
me.
Host and go to bed.
Why especially me?
I wanted you to be scared.
You scared me more with that Winnie the Pooh
Yeah,
trailer.
I'm not the one who turned off a fucking Winnie the Pooh trailer halfway through. Someone who's
Sure
a
am I.
horror fan and is like, "Oh, Winnie the Pooh? No, thank you."
That trailer was scary, man.
It
I
wasn't.
couldn't finish it. I didn't like creepy Winnie the Pooh.
Again, that wasn't the real trailer, and that wasn't...
I know, but I didn't like it.
After that horrific event, he goes to Dr. Coulson's, and the reception nurse says that there is no such doctor, or there never was. And he's very confused because he's been going to this place for years and there's always been a Dr. Coulson, and he will only speak to Dr. Coulson. When she suggests he should see a psychiatric doctor because he's acting a bit mad and he's slamming the table, when he slams the table, a flower vase breaks. And as the nurse goes to pick it up, she has a weird bone sticking out of her head.
Yeah.
He sees this and he panics and he's like, what the fuck is going on? When he runs away, someone from the police chase or security chases him, and he goes into a door to hide, not to go to the doctor's office. He goes into the door to hide, and when he gets there, there's a group of people that look like they're having some sort of Alcohol's Anonymous meeting, pretty much.
Yeah, group therapy.
There's a leader of this kind of group, and he says he's waiting for Dr. Coulson. The other doctor says that Dr. Coulson, he's in a car accident and he dies a month ago. His car just blew up. He is obviously really confused by what's just happened. His doctor's gone missing for some reason. He's been going to it for years. There's weird fucking guys in a car with weird heads. Like, shit's fucking going on. We cut to a house party where him and Jezzy are dancing to Lady Marmalade. But before we get to that bit, a woman is sitting on the stairs of this house party, and she said she can read his palms, tell his future, or say whatever about him. At this point, when this lady is reading his palms, Jezzy is at the bottom of the stairs, and she's like, hurry up, come on, want to dance, all this kind of stuff. Metaphor. Did you get that one?
No.
No. So the top of the stairs and the bottom of the stairs, what do they represent?
Oh, yeah, okay.
There you go.
Got it now.
We all got it together. The palm reader says to Jacob, jokingly, I'm looking at your hands here, and I mean, you're already dead. Yeah, whatever.
Like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Like the butterfly effect. So, kind of jokingly, kind of walks away from it. He starts doing a dance with Jezzy, and he's clearly shit at dancing. Poor guy.
It's a fucking weird dance.
It's,
I don't know what that...
I mean, old white guy dance is how I put it.
But her dancing is weird too.
No, it's not. It's very...
Erotic?
Sexual?
No, she just looks like she's been electrocuted. Like someone's holding her up from the waist.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That. Electrocuted.
So, okay. So, he goes for a dance with Jezzy, and then he kind of goes, nah, I can't be a dancer or whatever. So, Jezzy goes away and starts dancing with someone else, another guy. At this point, he notices a young man staring at him from across the party, and suddenly a bunch of birds come into the party. And I mean literal birds. Like, flying birds come spinning around, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? Starts to stumble, his glasses fall off, he sees a faceless man where the guy used to be, and he's shaking his head and is like going crazy and stuff. He doesn't know what's going on. A strobe light is hitting the party, it's flashing. He's trying to find his glasses. He puts them on and he looks at Jezzy, and Jezzy's still with that other guy, but this time one of the birds attaches itself to the back of Jezzy, and then a long lizard tail, as we saw before, but much, much, much bigger, could be considered tentacle porn at this point, is like... Anime! Starts wrapping its tail around her and pretty much stripping her off in the middle of the dance floor. No one's noticing this but Jacob. He's pretty much having sex with her at this point, and she's loving it. She's absolutely McDonald's in it. She's loving it.
Oh, that's not a phrase I've ever heard before, and I don't wish
Sponsor.
to.
No.
The bird, weird lizard creature, has sex or whatever with Jezzy, and then sticks its... could we consider this spit roasting? I don't know. Spit roasts Jezzy?
I mean, technically, yes, in the barbecue sense, because it is like it goes through her entire body, right?
Through her, yeah. Ends up on the other end.
Like if you're sticking a pig
mouth
over a fire.
It's more of a skewer. No.
She gets skewered in the middle of the dance floor pretty much, and Jacob is pretty much, what the fuck, runs out of the way and then falls on the ground, and everyone's just staring at him on the dance floor like, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? Any thoughts?
I just get really annoyed because she's really embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you fucking embarrassed me at that party. I'm like, really?
She has a proper go at him, doesn't she?
She's a dick.
No. I won't have that said. She's a good egg.
What,
Jezzy?
in the movie?
Yeah.
That says a lot about you.
I'll bear that in mind with the next scene, shall I? Fuck you both.
All right,
I'll let you fucking burn.
It. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I haven't slept. I
know.
haven't slept.
My God, you guys seem to get worse and worse. Just have your sleep, man, before the podcast. I'm worried now at this point. Don't be such a Jezzy. Wait.
Don't be such an adult baby.
There you go. Jezzy tells him off because she felt mortified at the party for what he did. At this point, though, Jacob is really fucking ill, and she takes his temperature, and it's at like 120. What was the temperature?
106.
Just
141
degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
You would be dead.
You'd be dead at this point. But she's like, oh shit. Tries to call the doctor and said, what do I need to do? And the doctor tells her, put him in an ice bath.
See, if she was a dickhead, she wouldn't have done that. She would have just let him burn. She's a good person.
No.
And you're just annoyed.
She's not a
She
good person,
comes to his
she?
aid the whole way through this film.
If we talk
Yeah,
about,
for
if we
reasons.
know what we know about the end.
Yeah.
Is it
No,
just
she's
because she called his ex-wife a bitch and you're like, that's
No,
not
she was just
acceptable?
awful to him. I
No,
don't know. Didn't like her.
I disagree.
You just fancy her. That's the only reason. You're stuck to that. She prepares an ice bath with ice so that the fever goes down, and she calls the help of her neighbours, asks for more ice. They literally bring in a whole bag of ice. I kind of laugh at this bit every time it happens because it's just... I know Penny's going to disagree when he's like been held down and like the ice cubes are like hitting his head. It's just funny a little bit to me. I don't know why. It's just one of those
If it had
things.
ever happened to you, Dan,
I
you would not
know,
think it was funny.
but it's kind of funny, and I laugh a little bit. But it's like, yeah,
No.
he's put into freezing water, screams in pain. I'm dying, you're killing me. Back in bed, he wakes up and he's next to Sarah this time. Oh. And his son enters the bedroom to complain of the cold. So Jacob tucks in his son. In this dream, he basically is hallucinating. He's having another dream. Could be a flashback to the past. We don't know. It could be just made up because of what's happened. He wakes up dazed and confused. He's got Jezzy and a dog looking at him.
Yeah, where did that dog come from?
That was the dog from the beginning, Chester.
Oh, yes, of course. Shit. He's awake. He's in the bathtub. He's got his red eyes. And the doctor says to him at this point, "You're a lucky guy, Jake. You must have friends in high places."
Metaphor.
So, gets another flashback to Nom. Helicopter is picking him up at this time, but we go back to the current world. Jacob sees pictures in a book of torture and hell, and he's kind of looking through it, and Jezzy is kind of annoyed with him with what's happened and everything that's gone on. She screams at him, "Anybody home? Anybody?" And the second time she says anybody, she kind of has demon eyes and weird face.
Yeah, her eyes go really black as well.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. So he interprets her as a demon, I guess. And he pushes her away. She's obviously pissed off. She snaps back into kind of her non-demon form. She's like, "I'm leaving. You're a dick. I'm out of here." She leaves wishing he was dead. At the moment...
She's a dick.
Does she actually say that?
Yeah. Right. She leaves. "I wish you were dead."
He's a Vietnam veteran and he's clearly not having a nice time, and he almost died of 106-degree fever, and she's like, fuck you, I'm gone.
Fuck you, you
She's
ruined my
also
party.
spent 2 weeks looking after him, and all he's doing is looking at old books.
That's what I'd be doing if I was...
He'd be looking at old manga. That's the difference.
Oh, here we go. Okay, at this moment, the phone rings and it's Paul Flanagan. He's an old army vet of his, or old guy who used to be
He's in the platoon.
In the platoon. And he's like, "We got to meet you at the bar." They go to the bar. Paul is in a bit of a state and he's smoking and drinking, and he's like, "Jacob, I think I'm being followed. I think someone is after us." And they start wondering why all these weird things happen to him. I don't think Jacob confronts him that, "Oh, I'm having visions." I don't think so.
No.
He just kind of listens to him and goes, "Oh shit, he's having the same thing as me. What the fuck's going on here?" He thinks, Paul, that something happened to him. Why are you shaking your head, Andy?
He says he's having the same thing as he is.
Okay, well then, instead of being passive aggressive and shaking your head, just put your hand up next time. It'd be nice and easy.
Let's get a fucking move on.
Fancy.
You are not doing a podcast with 3 hours sleep next time. You are definitely fucking not. So they start wondering what happened to them in Nom because they think there was something going on. Someone's looking at them across from the room. Don't pay attention to him because he was definitely not there earlier. They go out of the bar together. Jacob stops to pick up a penny and he says to Paul, "It's my lucky day." And Paul starts the car and smiles, and he eventually realizes that something's wrong because he's engaged the throttle. Not the throttle, he's engaged the key, whatever you say.
Car
Ignition.
stuff. Yeah.
The car stuff. The ignition, that's it. He's engaged the ignition.
He make the car guy.
He made the car go boom, and car goes boom and blows up, killing him instantly.
Is that a metaphor
Well,
for anything?
considering when they said, it's not really a metaphor, but considering earlier when they said that the doctor just blew up,
That's the only reason I brought it up. I was like, maybe I missed something.
I don't think it's a metaphor. I just think it's more of a case of everything is, because you got to realize what happens at the end. Like everything is just kind of falling down in place
Yeah.
Okay.
because of what happened in a way.
Certain things go in certain ways. The penny that he went to pick up vanished as he went to pick it up.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So it wasn't real, but it was something that was there to stop him from getting in that automobile.
In the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the explosion happens, the man that was staring at them across from the bar, and if we go back, he was also behind the car when the car was trying to mow down Jacob. He grabs Jacob to get him away from the explosion and just leaves. Don't know anything about him. He just leaves.
Really weird.
Why's that weird?
Because he's just in a car explode. He pulls a
I know,
guy out and he's like, "See you later, mate. Have fun."
See you later, mate.
He just like bowls off down the road,
Oh.
singing a happy tune like nothing's fucking happened.
Oh, yeah. Wait a
Not
We
that
get
one.
another flash. Not that one. Not that one. We get another flashback. Inside the helicopter where Jacob was taken when he was injured, the pilot gets shot, and we cut away again from what happened there. It's Paul's funeral. It's raining. Everyone's carrying an umbrella.
It's always raining at funeral in movies. Where does everyone get all these black umbrellas from? Like, no one turns up with like
I don't know.
a nice little polka dot one.
Sports
do they?
unicorn one.
Sportsdirect.com.
Yeah.
They're like 10 for a quid on sportsdirect.com.
Like everybody's got the same one. But, like nobody's just got like a pink one that they use day to day.
Can you imagine if
Pink
like
one.
they had like a panning across and everyone had a black umbrella apart from Paul who had one that looked like a frog? I'd be like, what?
If I ever make a movie, that's what I'm doing. Neil Breen, hit me up. Let's do it.
So all the people who were at this funeral, there's a couple of guys that were in the platoon as well. They speak to Jacob about what Paul said to him before he died. And he was talking about how he was seeing things and things were coming out of the walls and stuff. And at this point, 3 of the guys start to get worried. And they're like, oh shit. So obviously this has happened to them as well as Jacob. Something weird has happened while they're at Vietnam or in Vietnam, and they've become like this, where they're starting to see things, and things are not real. They don't know what's real and what's not. After the funeral, Jacob and his 5 friends contact a lawyer because they want to see if they can sue the army, basically, see what they've got a case for something going on. And they find the other George, but his name is Geary or Gary. Geary, that's it. From
Seinfeld.
Which is Jason Alexander, who is from Seinfeld. So they're using him as a lawyer to sue the military. He says it's expensive as hell, but he'll try and give it a go. And they leave. Jessie tells Jacob that the lawyer is not taking the case after some time. And she says the reason they haven't taken the case is because all the friends that he's with at the funeral backed out of it suddenly.
Changed their minds.
When they left the lawyer's office, there was a black sort of suited dude in a black car parked outside that you see throughout the film.
So Jacob contacts Frank, and Frank says he's back down because they have been threatened and he doesn't want to have anything to do with this. He's done. And we also see that all the rest of the guys are on the other side of the room while Frank is talking, just kind of huddled and just waiting for him to finish.
He was like,
call.
I'm going to call them, and he's like, they're not interested.
They're not interested, and he kind of unhooks the phone so he can't call them back. They're definitely not interested. Jacob goes to find the lawyer, and then he says, no way, I'm not taking this case anymore. He's like, why not? You said you would, blah, blah, blah. He says, I checked your backgrounds, and you and your friends were left out of the army even before Vietnam because you had psychological issue or grounds to pull you out of the army. I'm not taking the case. You're some kind of nut jobs, or you guys are nut jobs.
Yeah, he's like, you're mugging me off, mate.
You're mugging me off.
You weren't even in Vietnam, bitch.
Jacob is annoyed. He leaves. Jacob is angry.
Jacob is annoyed.
He's annoyed, but he leaves, and as he leaves, he gets kidnapped in a car. The same car that was weaving around, weaving and weave.
Oh, I did wonder if it was.
It was,
weaving
yeah.
and weave.
He gets kidnapped, put in the back of this car, and there's 2 guys in the back and a driver, and the 2 guys in the back are in suits. They are threatening him to say, you shouldn't really talk about the things you're talking about, Jacob. You get you into a lot of trouble. Let's stay quiet from now on. Hey, Jacob. He's like, okay, fine, whatever. But he doesn't. He punches everyone in the car and then jumps out of the car. Tim Robbins did that stunt. That looked pretty painful, jumping out of the car.
Did he do it himself?
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
pretty sure he did the whole thing. He jumped out like
impressive.
the car was going pretty quick. That hurt.
Because that fight looked kind of crappy. Like, he
was a
didn't
bit.
look like he was hitting them very hard, but I was also like, that must be really difficult to film.
Well, I also
Yeah.
can work out why the car was drifting around every corner and wheel
Yeah,
spinning.
that was
It
my
was
next-
so unnecessary.
This is the... They're so unnecessary. They're sat in the car, and when you get the shots of them in the car, it does seem kind of like normal driving, right?
Yeah.
But then the outside, the car is going fucking mental. Why are you not causing suspicion by like driving the car that mental? You know?
Yeah, you would have thought if they are like Suits or Men in Black or whatever,
Yeah, they wouldn't bring attention.
they wouldn't be drifting round corners like twats.
Maybe that's just their thing in this kind of messed up way because they were driving like that earlier. Maybe that's because they're just erratic people. I don't know. Maybe it just
Maybe they're
represents
just the worst driver.
Maybe.
worst drivers of all time.
Can't
They
reverse
got
into
hired.
parking space and stuff.
3-point turn. So Jacob jumps out of the car, and as he jumps out, Santa Claus is collecting money for the poor, I think, and he steals his wallet as he's on the
So
ground.
good.
It's so good.
Oh.
Steals Jacob's wallet, and Jacob can't move. He's obviously hurt by jumping out of a fucking car. He goes into
I
hospital.
hope Tim Robbins wasn't too hurt when he did that.
I don't know.
That did look pretty.
Pretty gnarly.
And he's so long.
Yeah, he's 6'5", isn't he? So like,
Is he really?
so for
I
him
want to stand next to him
to
now.
get out of that
Bet you do.
car, that's effort. That's like trying to get a giraffe through a haystack. What?
And my lines are bad. Anyway, Jacob is admitted to hospital after he's had his wallet taken. He's lying on the ground after jumping out of the car. They're going to try do everything they can for him. They put him in to the hospital.
Is it a hospital or is it a scary,
Well,
really dirty insane asylum?
He-
Because that place was filthy.
he see as he's going deeper into the hospital, he's like on the bed. it starts to change. It starts to get darker. He sees a broken bike, which is later we figure out is from the kid that died. Weird demented people all over him. A mother with a baby, with the baby sucking her tit on a cage above him as
it's called breastfeeding, Dan.
Oh, I can't believe I let that slip by.
Like,
just if we're going to use correct terminology, I just thought
I got told, didn't I? Jeez. He passes through some butchers with human parts all over the place. The trolley that he's on, or the bed, whatever you want to call it, it gets stuck on these like body parts that are just all over the place. He's going into a weird situation. By the way, the next scene is where I got my fear from needles, as you'll probably figured out.
Yeah, I looked away.
So he sees all weird shit going on in this hospital, just weird demented shit. He's now in, what are they called? Medical, there's a certain terminology for it, isn't it? What's the word? When they have where they do the actual operations.
Theatre.
The theatre.
That's it. So he's in a theatre and the evil doctor, as I put on here, getting ready to operate on him. And he tells him, you're already dead. Like what we've heard already from the palm reader, you're dead. You're dead. Jesse is a nurse there helping out with the scalpel and everything, all the tools they're about to use. They lock his head in so he can't move with a brace and stuff. And then an eyeless doctor punches his forehead with a needle into his brain, and you see it for quite a while, and it's one of the worst bits because I fucking hate needles. And
I didn't realise he had no eyes. In fairness, the second I saw him pick up the needle, I was like, I'm out.
You didn't realise he had no eyes?
No, because I had turned, I was taking notes. I was taking notes at that time.
Okay.
So I wasn't watching the screen.
Great note reader. Great note taker.
Is that a metaphor that he's got no eyes?
I mean,
not everything has to be a metaphor.
No, not everything.
Well, I don't want to miss any of them.
No, we'll just tell you at the end. It's fine. Don't worry. I
know what the big metaphor is.
The big metaphor is a reoccurring metaphor. That's just basically what it. There's not like multiple ones like in Parasite. It's like it's the same one that we've previously talked about, pretty much.
Okay.
So he wakes up out of this in hospital, and he's all fine. But Sarah and his 2 children visit him. So this means that it's currently at a period of time where the kid has died. So it's not a flashback. It's maybe a present day time. We're led to believe. Unfortunately, we hear a voice saying, "Dream on," as he's talking to his wife, and he realizes, oh fuck, I'm in some sort of nightmare again.
Yeah, it was weird. It sounded like Paul.
Dream on, kind of thing. He realizes this is some weird nightmare. He's starting to like not get out of these weird hallucinations he's having and stuff, and he doesn't know what's real or not. And at this point, we don't know what's real or not as well. So his doctor arrives, his original doctor, or his chiropractor. This chiropractor, right?
Louis to the rescue!
Comes to save the day and runs in. He looks at Jacob and kind of goes, what kind of sort of establishment is this? You've got all this kind of stuff, and takes it all off him and goes, come on, Jacob. Gets the wheelchair, puts him in the wheelchair, brings him back to his place. He comes to save the day.
Such an angel.
He is such an angel. Louis gives him a nice little rub again, and Jacob says that he was in hell, or it felt like he was in hell. I think at this point he says probably the most famous quote. If I could read a quote from the book, please. From the movie, not the book. Louis says to him, the only thing that burns in hell is part of you that won't let go of your life, your memories, your attachments. They all burn away, but they're not punishing you. They're freeing your soul. If you're frightened of dying, you're holding on. You see the devils tearing your life away, but if you've made your peace, then the devils are really angels freeing you from the earth.
It all sounds terrifying, to be honest, whichever way you look at it.
It's just accepting death, is essentially what he's saying.
It's letting go of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got it. Just like, you're like, well, if you haven't let go, then the devil's tearing your life apart. But if you have, then they're freeing you, but they're also still doing it in quite a scary
You better
way.
let go quickly then.
So when Jacob leaves, he goes back to his place to find his honourable discharge documents, which he does find.
He's got gerbils.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He also sees a drawing made by Gabe, and this is where we get a flashback or a telling of what happened to Gabe. He was playing on his bike, he drops his baseball cards. This happened when he was in Vietnam, I think, because he's not with them at this point. When he was in Vietnam, it happened when he was away, because there's images of him showing him how to ride a bike, and then suddenly he's a lot older, and then he gets hit by a truck.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I think
That
maybe.
car should have fucking seen him, though.
Yeah.
Like, I know he stopped in the middle of the road. He was in the road for quite a while before he got hit, and I was like, that car should have fucking
And he's
seen
got the blondest hair in the world. It's like a fucking sun sat in the middle of tarmac.
He sees more visions again. He's getting terrified again. As soon as it starts remembering something to do with his past and stuff, it's just starts seeing visions. Jessie comes back with some groceries and she asks where he's been.
She had a brown bag, but she didn't have a leak in it.
Oh, I didn't even check. I'm glad you're on the bullpen.
No leak check.
You might miss those metaphors, but you don't miss those leaks.
Smashing it on Leak Watch.
She's worried about him because he's been away for 2 days. Has no idea where he's been. She called every hospital in the city, but he was nowhere. At this point, the phone rings and Jacob tells her, say I'm not here. She picks up the phone and finds out that Michael, which we have seen a couple of times in the past scenes in the film in the background, needs to meet him. He says, make sure you are not followed. Jacob finds Michael and they have a talk for some time. Michael was one of the survivors in this Vietnam camp or platoon as well. And he claims to be a chemist who used to work for the Army's Chemical Warfare Division. And while he was there, they invented a new drug called the ladder. And it was designed to increase aggression, bringing soldiers' most primal urges to light in such a way that the conscious mind could not repress them.
That sounds like a great idea.
This is a true story, by the way. We'll get to that in a minute. And
but also, that still sounds like a great idea. Sarcasm.
I'll link something to the viewers if they want to watch something, but I'll say at the end. So the ladder was first tested on monkeys, he says, and then on a group of captured enemy combatants. He said there was gruesome results. It was deemed that the drug had created the effect wanted by the army officers. So the next step was to give small doses of the drugs to the soldiers in Jacob's battalion in secret in their food. He confesses to him as well, by the way, there was no one in the trees. You all killed each other there. You just absolutely massacred each other. Except for Jacob. But then we find out that when Jacob got wounded, it was one of his fellow soldiers. He has another little flash because he starts to remember stuff. And it was one of his fellow soldiers that stabbed him in the guts.
He didn't do it on purpose, though.
I know.
I mean, he did, but it was because of the drugs.
I know that.
It's so sad. Or just... never mind.
I'm joking. It's fine. Right, Jacob leaves, takes a taxi, and Jacob gives the taxi driver all his money. He ends up taking this taxi all the way to a house that we haven't seen before, and the doorman greets Jacob as Dr. Singer. He says, it's been a long time since we've seen each other, and they shake hands. He goes into the house, and it's clear to see that this is his old home that he used to live with Sarah and the kids. But there's no one at home. It's like a dark room. And he starts remembering things, looking at pictures on the wall and stuff.
Again, mostly pictures of Gabe.
Mostly pictures.
Yeah.
I know he's dead, but...
Really loves Gabe. Hates the other two.
The other two have got heads like sort of squashed potatoes.
Maybe that's why he doesn't like
when he's in hospital.
They also looked really similar. I couldn't really tell them apart.
Yeah, and when he's in hospital earlier, one of them like sasses him. I can't remember what he says, but he's like,
hang in there, Dad.
Yeah.
When he's all like in his traction and stuff.
I mean, it's a good line, in fairness.
He then sees Gabe standing near the stairs or sitting down on the stairs, and Jacob is like, oh my God, you're here. And at this point, Gabe is like, come with me, let's go. And he's going up the stairs. Metaphor.
Yeah, I got that one.
Into the shining lights. And I immediately thought that's where the film will end, but no. We get a scene where he is dead in Vietnam. He's just passed out. He's obviously gone on a helicopter. All this stuff has happened that we've seen in the flashbacks. When they got back to base, he's dead, Jacob, and he's actually died in Vietnam. And we fade to black. And the last thing we see is some captions that say it was reported that the hallucinogenic drug BZ was used in experiments on soldiers during the Vietnam War. The Pentagon denied the story. I can tell you now, in 2012, the documents got declassified. It is 100% true. And that is Jacob's ladder.
Boo. Boo to the Pentagon, not boo to the film.
Boo, Pentagon. Penny, what do you think?
I liked it. I feel like I need to watch it again at some point to really process it. But yeah, when I know we were talking about looking for metaphors, but I think it clicked at one point when I went, oh, angel chiropractor.
Yeah.
Because I did send you a text. It was after he'd called him an angel and I'd clocked on that bit. And I think that was maybe when he rescued him. And I was like, oh, angel chiropractor. Like, I knew he was already dead. The palm reader said he was already dead. So I was like, yeah, I got that. No, I really liked it. It wasn't nice, because obviously it's a kind of a true story, and we were talking about how maybe the twist that he was dead the whole time probably had more impact in 1990 because it wasn't as common. We didn't have
before the
Sixth
Shine
Sense and M. Night Shyamalan and and stuff. I kind of wish I watched it when I was 17 or something, to be honest.
It was good.
I feel like...
Wasn't out when you were 17, was it?
Fuck you. Yeah, no, I don't know if enjoyed is the right word, but yeah, I liked it. And
Intrigued.
Intrigued, and yeah, I think it needs another watch, because I didn't write that many notes because I was just watching it and taking it in.
Yeah.
So...
Score?
8.
Way!
One of those points is for Tim Robbins' butt.
You heard it here first. Andy, what do you think?
I quite liked it. I thought they did some interesting stuff with the PTSD aspects of it. But then linking it to like the hallucinogens felt a bit of a cop out. Like either have it as PTSD, or have it as like something that's affected them down the line.
Isn't that what they've done with the remake though? I had a quick look and it seems like the remake is more about drug addiction than anything else.
It's awful. The remake. You could watch it. It came out in 2019, I think. I've
seen who's in it. I'm not going to watch it.
It is barbarically bad. Like it is so bad. But yeah.
It almost sounds like a different film.
It is, entirely.
PTSD back then wasn't as widely recognised as it is now as like a post-combat condition.
30 years ago, this film. It's a long time ago. Yeah.
So if they had stuck with, and I can understand why they didn't do it, but if they had stuck with that instead of the hallucinogens and said this is the impact of war, that would have made it a lot more interesting, because that opening scene is like pretty fucking brutal. They all get slaughtered. Yeah. But then to like bail it out with, oh well, maybe it's the government with drugs and shit, it was like a bit.
Yeah.
But then is that not because that was true?
Well, it is based off a true story, as we said.
Yeah.
So is that not why that bit was included?
Is real life that stupid and silly? Why couldn't they just do something else?
But then we don't find out if that actually happened to him when he was in Nam or not.
I think the point you're getting across is like the nightmares. We don't know if that actually happens to people years down the line. So that seems like using the drug thing as an excuse for something that happened years ago seems a bit maybe it wouldn't be in his system that much, or you know, if we're looking at it in a realism way, I guess
if he's like on the gurney or on the operating table dying, he wouldn't know about the drugs that they use.
It was a bit of a red herring.
So that is pure like
that was a red herring though, wasn't it? Really,
that's exposition for us to assume that that's what happened to him, but in reality that might not have happened. He might have just got shot by Viet Cong in the junk. Like, I don't know, it made it slightly messier for me. They could have cleaned up, but I also thought that like the general theology between the angels and demons stuff was quite interesting. The palm reader bit made it so fucking obvious what was going to happen, and that could have been cleaned up as well. But I mean, aside from that, like, it's quite interesting. It wasn't fucking terrifying. It was watchable. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 7 because I give everything a 7 that's not shit.
I would say, like, again, it's kind of, even though it's probably not, it doesn't have the same effect in terms of its scariness, I still think for a 30-year-old film it holds up so fucking well. It's insane. Like, I honestly think, especially with horror films, they're really hard to be that, because the scariness, let's be honest, like, old scary films are not as scary as they once were when you first saw them, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really rely on jump scare heavy. It's just more about feeling tense, seeing odd imagery, just
like not knowing what's real or not.
Yeah, stuff that
paranoia and
nightmare stuff that you would have. Like, realist, like, when I saw this, I thought that's something I would see in a fucking nightmare I had. Like, it does a really good job. Like, the car bit with the weird faces, 100% is something like I've had similar dreams to or something. But yeah, I do agree, even though that side of it, I love how they just do the horror elements and the creepy elements of it. As Andy said, I think the first half of the film is better than the second half, because when you get to the second half, it's like giving you answers really quickly, and once you have the answers, like, oh, we figured it out, then it's drugs. So it's not the creepy monsters. There's no creepy monster.
Yeah.
And you, for the first half of the film, you're like, oh shit, there's creepy monsters. How is this in the world? And that intrigue goes away when you find out all about that stuff. But I still think it's a hidden gem, I think, because a lot of people have seen this film, and I think it's really fucking good. For a film that's 30 years old, I think it's really good. 9 out of 10.
Woo!
Can I change my score?
No. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, I was going to bump up to an 8.
No, go on.
No,
I was going to bump up to an 8.
Is it going to be an 8?
It's going to be an 8.
I've got to put the markings down, so it's an 8. So
is that extra point for Tim Robbins' butt as well?
I'll tell you what the extra point is for. So I think throughout the whole film, he is in that process of dying, and there's certain beats that would match to like how they would try and heal him. So when he's like in the bath, he's obviously fevery, and they're trying to cool him down, and the needle would be like adrenaline because then he wakes up immediately off.
Yeah.
So right. I think they're doing all these things to wake him up.
He's still feeling it, in a way, unconsciously.
At the end, they were like, "Oh, he's gone, but he put up a good fight," and you're like, "Oh, so like it does make sense that he was like battling."
Yeah, he wasn't dead
while he was
the
unconscious. Like he wasn't. Yeah, and he went through all of that.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Oh, he tried really hard."
Yeah,
like he put up a good fight, but
that's
he gave up in the end.
The whole thing of you see your life flash before your eyes.
Yeah,
he lived his life. Like he lived,
and then he looked peaceful
because
he went off with Gabe.
Yeah,
and he looked all peaceful.
Went upstairs.
So all of that stuff has given it an extra point.
Groovy. Okay.
Yes.
So let's pull the film for next week. Film out of the hat. What could it be? Could be another horror. We never know. We seem to have too many horror films in the hat anyway, so it's fine. Not just because of Penny. I'm just saying, even I put fucking horror films in, so there we go. So the film for next week we are watching is another Dan film, unfortunately, guys.
Ooh.
That's 3 back to back.
I know, I'm going to have none left, and it's just going to be you two. The film we are going to watch for the next episode, you'll be glad to know, is an anime! It makes a return.
Fuck.
Hey, you liked the last one. Shut the fuck up. You liked the last one. Don't get grumpy on me just because I said the word anime. It's the 2016 film A Silent Voice, when a grade school student with impaired hearing is bullied mercilessly. Long word I can't say. She transfers to another school years later. One of her former bullies sets out to make an amends. This film is fucking amazing. Get the tissues ready because it's a very powerful, emotionally charged film, and it's going to really rile up Andy, and I can tell it. It is an animation romance film, as is under, and I do love a romance.
He does.
Andy's face looks like my face when we were talking about fucking giant kids in nappies.
Giant men in
Why
nappies.
are you so pissed off? This is an amazing film.
Expand your horizons.
All right, horror girl.
I'm trying.
Why are you pissed off? Tell me.
Huh? What?
Why are you pissed off?
No, I'm not pissed off.
It's tired.
We'll just wait. We'll wait and see.
I do think this.
I can't make any judgment on it till I've watched it.
I do think this film is exclusive to Netflix as well, so you can, for people listening, you can watch it on Netflix, and it is in English as well. It's not subtitles, so you can do that too. 2016, A Silent Voice is next week's podcast. Penny, what's our social?
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Unusual Suspects Pod, and on Twitter at Unusual Podspec. Talk to us. Tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like. Unless you don't like me, then
who do you hate? Who do you love? Be honest. We'll take the criticism. Maybe not Andy. We'll take criticism.
If you have questions about adult babies, please point them to Joyce's21 on Twitter.
Yep.
I'm at Penny_photopit.
I'm at Dan Talks a Lot. Do not come with me with any adult babies. I'll fucking kill you. That was
I think we all need to go to bed. Everybody needs a nap.
Your tiredness
Maybe
has rubbed off on me.
Maybe milk and a nap.
Did you say nap or nappy?
I mean, if you need to wear a nappy as well,
join us next time for episode 19. We are 2 away from a Halloween special, and we have some lovely surprises. It's nearly Halloween, guys. Kind of. Maybe.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Everybody Halloween. Halloween. I love Halloween.
Goodbye.
Oh, Christ.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween.
You're still going.
It's not Halloween yet.
I was waiting for you to put the music on, but you didn't.
What music? You're the fucking soundtrack to this ending.
Well, usually you play it so you know when we're done.
Not the ending.
Does he not?
I never have played the ending in 19 or 18 episodes. Goodbye, everyone. This is actually the ending. Goodbye, everyone.
No, it's not. Bye.